Hello, viewers of AmaniTv, la télé de l'Afrique. Today, I'm pleased to welcome you to our show, Entretien avec, and we have a special guest all the way from South Africa, Mr. Katerere, that we're going to be talking to. And we're going to talk to him about something very special, woman in print, a sector that is not as well known as it should be, and an event that is coming up, and it's regarding women uh, empowerment and equality, gender equality, and pushing women to be entrepreneurs. I'm happy to welcome him to our show today.
I'm very well. Thank you so much, Sofia, for having me. I'm doing exceptionally well today.
Amazing, amazing. And I'm very pleased to meet you and have you as a guest today.
Thank you
So,
so
a
much.
quick, yes, thank you very much for that. So, a quick presentation about you, Mr. Katerere. You are head of business development and marketing at Printing SA, the official industry federation representing South Africa's printing, packaging, and visual communication sector. Is that correct?
That's correct, indeed.
Amazing. And in your role, you spearhead strategic initiatives to advance the member value and industry goals, focusing on sector-wide campaigns, member engagement, and capacity development programs. Am I correct?
Yes, you are spot on. You've done your research.
Yeah. We like to do our research. So your leadership underpins initiatives such as Print Her mentorship and the Women in Print series, highlighting women leaders' roles in the broader print ecosystem in South Africa and in Africa in general. And regarding that, we are going to discuss today more specifically the Women in Print series 2025 event. So I'm gonna let you introduce the event and talk about the event for our viewers and our listeners. Can you explain to us what you intend and what you mean?
Well, thank you so much. Look, I think Women in Print is an initiative that we launched 4 years ago now. And basically, what the reason why we decided that this was a platform needed to be established was, over the years we had recognized that other spaces were creating platforms for the ladies in those industries to be recognized. And print is one of the oldest professions known to man. And as Printing SA ourselves, we've been around for about 114 years. And in that time, we never did anything that really showcased that, we've got these beautiful minds in the sector. And, literally these are women that are changing how, a traditionally male dominated sector has always, performed as well as how it's regarded and presented. So the idea came to me in about 2020, but unfortunately, obviously, due to COVID, everything was pretty much shut for 2 years. Then we fortunately got the opportunity to do something in 2022. And essentially, like I said, it was us just creating a space for ladies, young professionals, old, young, to get together and really appreciate each other for some of them having broken through the glass ceiling and starting to own their own businesses. Some of them changing what would be JSE listed companies on the stock exchange. There's some really formidable ladies out there. So Women Print over time has been that platform where we showcase the brilliant entrepreneurs, and we celebrate them as well in the sector, to show like how are they navigating the space and what can we do as the industry association to put forward their plight and ensure that they're getting the support that they need. And I suppose going into our fourth year now, it's just grown leaps and bounds. That you did mention now that we are launching for the first time the Print Her mentorship program. Again, another initiative that is going to add a lot more sort of meat to the bone, so to speak. And we didn't want Women in Print to just be a series of events during the month of August. We wanted it now to start being a movement that really has a tangible impact and allows these ladies for about 7 to 8 months of the year to really interact and engage. And it's aimed at, your young seasoned professionals that are looking to advance their careers, develop new skills, build meaningful professional, relationships. And we're looking to see just how we can, bring out those, they call them diamonds, because diamonds are forged over time through, compression. And I think we've got a lot of them out there. So let's see how it goes. And we're just grateful to be part of something which is not only, like you said, the South African initiative, but over the years, given the fact that we stream the event to the continent, is becoming something that over 1 million viewers have experienced, in the past couple of years. And we are just hoping that we can take this to more places, and not just in South Africa, but, perhaps we'll be in Senegal one of these days, showcasing what Women in Print is all about.
And we would be happy to welcome you to Senegal. I mean, the initiative is just amazing, and it's refreshing to see a man at the head of such a great initiative to put women in front the line and actually have them showcase their talent that they already have. So basically, what's different this year, because you mentioned it's the 4th year, what's different this year is that you're actually going larger. You're actually trying to reach a bigger audience, and actually going through the continent. So if I was to ask you, what are the strategic objectives of the Women in Print campaign this year? If you could name a few of them. I know you mentioned like breaking through the glass ceiling and actually putting women and their talent in print in the sector in front. But what are the very specific strategic objectives that you guys have for this year?
Yeah. Thank you for that brilliant question. I think, so over the years, we've generally had a Women in Print event that addresses, issues that women face on a day-to-day basis. I mean, let's face it, you guys are mothers, you are wives, you are girlfriends, you are sisters, you are colleagues. So you are a lot to a lot of people all the time. And we wanted to just, make it a little bit more lighthearted this year, because women wear so many hats. And, we say you need to top up to give out, which means you need to obviously recharge yourself. You need to have certain tools and mechanisms that you have in place so that you don't ultimately burn out. So one of the things we're addressing this year is we're going to have a conversation around that, is how do you learn certain techniques that ensure that you are always at, 100%. And you're not being pulled left, right, and center. You know how to set boundaries, because if there's one thing that we've discovered over the years, a lot of women will tell you that saying no is quite difficult. And that's something that we're trying to unpack. We've got Cindy Norkett, who is an author, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker. She's going to be having that conversation with some of the ladies we've selected from our membership base this year and unpack that. I think also most importantly is the theme of this year's event is slightly different in the fact that we're having activations where we've invited close to about 12 female-owned entities that will be showcasing various things and giving the ladies a different experience. So we've got beauty and makeup stations so the ladies can get a bit of a touch-up. We've got health and wellness and nutrition, where the ladies can learn how to obviously make certain types of foods or drinks that are geared to helping you live a more healthy, sort of lifestyle. We've got some technology as well, where we'll be showcasing, how you can utilize certain technologies to help you structure your day a little bit better. So all in all, like, it's a showcase where we've got a lot more activities taking place, as opposed to historically, we've had the ladies sit in a banquet style event and we present a lot of topics. But this time, I think girls just want to have fun. We want to celebrate with you. And we want you guys to also take something away from it, which is the fun side of it, which is you get to experience a lot of things, a lot of goodies we're going to be giving away. And then also the serious side, which is getting you guys to feel a little bit more in touch with each other in some of the stories that are going to be shared. And I suppose walk away from that better equipped to, attack, the following week and the rest of the year, so to speak. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight. I've spoken about the mentorship program, which is also quite a key feature, in that we will be signing up mentees and mentors so we can establish those relationships, going into September, and hopefully we can launch that program in October. And, those ladies that will be fortunate enough to be part of it will definitely, be recognized, and they will graduate at our 5th year anniversary series in 2026.
Amazing. And I think that's a great match. Matching the fun side and the serious side is always great because, we need both. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. So going a little deeper in the actual subject that you guys are discussing for this event, or is actually at the base of this event, the global printing and publishing sector, I understand that it's undergoing a lot of transformation, especially here in Africa. But yet African women remain underrepresented in leadership roles and ownership. And I guess that's the reason for these types of event, right? So I wanted to ask you, why do you think that is? Why is the underrepresentation still an issue for women in leadership roles in the sector that you're in?
Yeah, you've got all the great questions today. So well done to you. I think I chalk it up to a couple of things. Number one is, it's always been a sector that we say hides in plain sight. Printing, publishing, we've always, we interact with it, from the minute that we wake up and, obviously when we go to sleep. But nobody ever told us, well, speaking to myself and possibly others, that there was actually this massive industry called the printing and packaging industry, where it's a multi-billion dollar industry globally. I think in South Africa, it equates to almost 2% of the manufacturing sector's contribution to the country's GDP. So it's always been there, but nobody knew about it. And I think what tended to happen was, when we are going through, our tertiary education and we're deciding on what to go and study, one would possibly have only interacted with the printing industry if you did journalism, because that's when you would have understood that, there's newspaper printing and the like. But, and then if you did maybe marketing and advertising, you would know that, there is print in some which way, shape or form, but it's not amplified as a career path. It's not being taught to, the kids in school that you can actually become a print engineer, and working with some technology that really is cutting edge. Some of the things that we're doing in the sector in terms of the level of technology. I mean, we were utilizing AI within the sector, probably 10 years ago. So it's an industry that is at the forefront of technological advancement. And I suppose given the nature of it being quite a technical space, we don't have the same number of women that are looking at the sector as an opportunity. Those that I often speak to that work in the sector will tell you that they only ended up in the industry by accident. It was like, they were applying for probably an admin role or a PA role, and only realized later on that, wow, okay, so there's actually a lot more to this space that meets the eye. So to answer your question, the underrepresentation comes around, for as far as I'm concerned, it's a lack of education. I think there's a lot we need to do as organizations like Printing SA to educate the younger generation that there is a space for you here. And we do that through career days. So Printing SA hosts a number of career days where we take schools to our member company facilities, and we take them on plant tours so they can actually see what the entire industry value chain is all about. And they start to see a different sort of opportunity, because I think one needs to experience something that is fairly how can I say, novel in a sense. And once you've experienced it, then you can start to appreciate it, and then you start to see, okay, well, there's maybe an opportunity for me here. So yeah, I think basically that's the main reason why I think there's underrepresentation. But I must also say that since launching Women in Print, we've actually started to see a lot more ladies taking up those spaces and filling up the boardrooms, because I suppose it's these types of platforms allow people to break out within the organizations they currently work for, and that really does give us a sense of accomplishment, because without us having offered these types of platforms, maybe some of these ladies wouldn't have realized their true potential.
Those are some amazing points, actually. And some things that I noticed is that you mentioned AI. And as we know nowadays, AI has a lot of influence and affects a lot of different sectors that we knew, traditional work sectors. And I'm interested to know, how has AI affected the printing industry?
Yeah. Look, like I said, we've been utilizing AI for quite some time. I think, by and large, what it does is allows you to work smarter. It's really made a lot of the processes a lot more efficient. With workflows. I mean, in our industry, we talk about workflows where we try to see how do we, you know, maximize the resources in the shortest amount of time and at the least amount of cost. And that's what AI does for us, is it improves our workflow so that we're able to get the jobs done a lot quicker, and with little wastage. I think one of the things that is quite high up on our agenda as a sector is sustainability, is how do our processes impact the environment. And for the longest time, ink was like a swear word, because obviously we weren't at the point of appreciating that we can manufacture inks a lot more sustainably, and also go through the waste stream with little harm to the environment. So AI plays a part in all of that, in terms of R&D. It's being utilized as well. So you're finding that the sort of next generation is going to have to really understand how technology can efficientize and improve our workflows, and we're starting to see that now, which is phenomenal.
That is pretty phenomenal, and that is pretty positive as far as an influence in the industry. So, when you mentioned the lack of education regarding the printing industry, do you think that is it regionally? Is it more specific to Africa, or would you say that it's global when you talk about this lack of education?
Yeah, look, I think it's definitely global. Printing SA belongs to an international association called FESPA, which is made up of about 34 associations like Printing SA that represent the interests of the industry within those countries. So we actually represent Africa on the FESPA platform. And we've had many conversations with our colleagues internationally. And you find that education is a big thing. Fortunately for us in South Africa, we have the largest training institution at Printing SA for the sector. So training is a big part of what we do. But there is a level of awareness that is missing in that a lot of the experts or the technical expertise is aging out of the industry. So we're getting a lot of people entering into retirement, and that skills base is being eroded. So we've got a responsibility now to bring in a young talent and occupy these spaces that are being left vacant. I think a lot of skills we're losing to, to first world countries. So a lot of migration is taking place to places like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, as well as Europe. So we've got quite an opportunity to capacitate the industry once again. And that all comes through with awareness. So it's us ensuring that we are hosting events like Women in Print. We are hosting career days like we do in South Africa. We are hosting expos. So we'll be part of the Africa Print, Sign Africa, and FESPA Africa Expo. That will take place from the 9th to the 11th of September in Johannesburg, South Africa. And that's also the largest expo for the sector on the continent. So it's those types of initiatives that we do to try and ensure that continentally we are capacitated with the technology that rivals our international counterparts, as well as the knowledge sharing is important. So we invite our brothers and sisters from the continent to come through to these experiences, and let's see how we can further collaborate and create more experiences that will obviously ensure the sustainability of our industry for the long term.
Very, very interesting and very important. I wanted to talk about a little bit more the youth membership accelerator that you mentioned before that you guys recently launched. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and more specifically, what does it take to be part of it, and what do you guys offer in that membership?
So I think there's two aspects here. The one obviously being the mentorship, which basically is geared for anybody in the industry that wants to advance their career, but mainly targeted at the ladies, hence Print Her Mentorship Program. And then, like I mentioned earlier, our career days, that's where we identify schools in sort of disadvantaged communities, because those are tantamount to be the learners that need that level of assistance in navigating careers. So what we then do is in the regions that we have branches in South Africa, we identify at least 3 schools per year. And out of those schools, when we take them through to the various plants and go on the plant tours and educate them about careers in the industry, we also give them an opportunity to then come and further their understanding or their knowledge of the sector through our training courses at Printing SA. So we actually issue those learners with grants or bursaries to study with us. And thereafter, once they've completed their studies, or whilst they are studying, we also give them internships with our member companies. So whilst they're doing the theoretical side with us, they're doing the practical side with our member company. And those that do obviously excel end up, full-time in full-time employment with those member companies. And that's one way that we're trying to get the youth involved, because obviously it is costly if you come from a disadvantaged background. So we're trying to just assist any which way we can to make sure that, those opportunities are available to the youth. And also, obviously, we're trying to capacitate the industry, given, like I said earlier, the brain drain that we're experiencing. So this is just but one of the ways we can do that. And we do encourage, those schools that might, plug in and listen to this, to reach out to us and let's see how we can work together.
Amazing, amazing. So, I understand that your previous editions were very successful. The ones that you had previously in Johannesburg, in Durban, in Cape Town, the Woman in Print series has emerged as a continental force for change. Like, you guys had over 700,000, if I'm not mistaken, media impressions and strong grassroots engagement. So, can you come back? Can you talk about those accomplishments, and from there, tell us where you want to go further this year?
Yeah, look, I think the numbers speak volumes about our impact since inception. I think Women in Print has reached more than 3,000 women through our regional events, with our online audience exceeding 1 million, impressions. And this reach is unprecedented and serves as a powerful testimony to the hunger for connection, knowledge, and opportunity that exists among women in our industry across the continent, for that fact. So we are hoping that, the numbers continue to show us exponential growth, because that is what will be the catalyst to us then finally saying, right, we would now like to partner with organizations in Senegal, in Morocco, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Kenya, to put these types of showcases on, and also expose, the ladies within those locums to, this type of opportunity. So I'm definitely hoping that through, these types of interviews, and through your guys' outreach into your communities, that we will hopefully, get to that point where we've built those linkages and we can actually look at Women in Print happening in more places than one.
that's the goal, and hopefully, you'll achieve it. Other than that, we have reached, maybe we have like 5 minutes left, in this interview. And I would love to give you the opportunity to summarize like the biggest message that you want to leave our listeners and our viewers with, talking about, because we talked about a lot of things. We talk about gender equality, because I see it as a movement for women through your industry, which is amazing, but it is a global movement. So I would love for you to leave us with a message about what you actually want to leave our viewers and our listeners with.
Thank you for the opportunity. I think, 4 years ago, Women in Print began as a vision. Today, it stands as a testament to what we can achieve when we commit to meaningful change. And over these 4 transformative years, this initiative has evolved from being a local gathering to a continental platform that spans the breadth of Africa. It's a milestone, and it's not just significant, it is tantamount to being revolutionary for the industry. So, as we do celebrate Women's Month, I would just like to encourage, my male counterparts to start paying attention to, the ladies within their spaces, because that is where the future is going to come from. And I think us providing those types of opportunities is going to be so critically important in building lasting camaraderie, networks with purpose, as well as it allows for everybody to gain insights into emerging opportunities. And I think only then can we say, yeah, we've advanced careers, and we've created entrepreneurs on this Women in Print journey. So yeah, hopefully that, as my parting shot, speaks to what we've tried to create, and hopefully what we will try to achieve, not only this year, but in subsequent years to come.
Mr. Katerere, thank you so much for this amazing interview. If you could just remind our listeners and viewers of the dates that the event is actually taking place.
Thank you. The first event is taking place on Friday, the 8th of August. That will be at Voda World in Midrand, Johannesburg, South Africa, with the second one taking place on the 21st of August. That will be at the Radisson Blue Hotel in Durban. And the final penultimate event will take place on the 27th of August at the Aria Winery, which is in Durbanville in Cape Town, South Africa.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this great interview, and wish you well on that endeavor and all your endeavors.
Thank you for the opportunity. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you at Women in Print soon.
That would be amazing. I would love to come. Never been to South Africa. I would love to come see you guys over there.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right. Take care. Thank you, everyone, for listening and joining our amazing conversation with Abisha Katerere about the Africa's premier platform for women in print. And like he said, the event coming up this month of August. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Thank you.